Hello and welcome to the third lesson with the amazing Sue Carberry teaching us all about all things astrology. And today it's all about houses. So without further ado, I'll pass it to Sue.
Hi guys, and there's been lots of questions and misunderstanding about how the houses work. The houses are governed and they start from your ascendant. The time of your birth is the first of the beginning of the first house, and then they go subsequent. The size of the actual signs remains static. The 360-degree circle is divided into 12 30-degree parts. Each one correlates to one of the 12 signs. The houses aren't neat 30-degree slots. They depend on where you're born according to the equator, your time of birth, and where you were born. And so what remains static is the size of each sign. What changes is the size of the houses. Some people have big houses and some people have small ones. Hello, there's Rose and there's iPhone who don't have pictures, so I don't know who I'm talking to, but hello. So I suppose the best thing I can do is pop up, if I can share something, what I'm talking about. I've got them on my, I have shared them in the WhatsApp group, what a chart looks like without,
Sue, if I make you co-host, you'll be able to share whatever you want. You can do share screen.
yes,
Yeah,
please.
cool.
Right, share screen. Where's,
Try now.
there we go. I need to find them on my, they're on my laptop. I put them in a specific place. Anyway, when you're looking at a chart without any information on it, it starts at Aries and then the 12 signs anti-clockwise around, like what's behind me. So that is a blank chart without anything put in it. You got 12 slices of the cake, perfect size, each one being 30, representing each of the star signs. Any questions?
Are you sharing the screen or
Not at the moment. I'm using the picture behind me.
oh, okay, right.
So I'm trying to share documents. Right. So basically, does anybody have any questions about that particular part of this sign? Which line did they start from? That starts when you get the time of birth, which then puts your ascendant on the first house. Without that, this is what it looks like. A circle with 12 slices of cake, starting with Aries here and going anti-clockwise around to Pisces here. That would be first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12. Each one representing a sign, Aries. First house is always an Aries energy. I am. No matter what this line here says, which is your ascendant line. So it always has the energy of Aries, your first house. So underneath here, this is you. This is all personal houses. And these ones are you interacting in the outside world. So right up here is you in your career, and down here at the bottom is you in your family, your roots, your place of origin. Your ascendant over here, your descendant over here. When you're given the data for the time, the place, and the date of birth, then all of this turns into the charts that we're used to seeing. You're looking like you're trying to figure something out, Althea. What's up?
No, I'm just following on. Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to share the WhatsApp something with here, or do you want me to
They're
help you
all on my
share 'em?
laptop, and I've never shared documents before to share screen. So I'm sort of talking and trying to do this at the time.
Yeah.
Multiple.
If you point
So
me in the direction of which one to put on, or if you go to share screen and
I've got
then
share, but where's share screen?
so at the bottom you click share, and then a box will pop up with with the screen you
Ah,
want to share.
I've got options.
You got options,
Okay. No,
and you yeah.
documents. Right. Document depository on my, where is it on my computer? Okay. I need to find them on my laptop. Right. If you go into our WhatsApp group, they're on the WhatsApp. I shared them on the WhatsApp. I
Which one to share, Sue?
the plain chart, the plain circle, which is the brown and white one.
Okay, you
Sorry,
keep going.
guys, but I've
I'll
never
I'll get it
shared a
going.
document before.
That's
Okay.
okay.
I can't see it because of the background. It's
Can you see it?
nope,
You can't see anything.
no.
Hang on.
There we go. Okay, that is called a flat chart. Now, see how each one of these 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. So that's your degrees. So 30, each star sign represents 30 degrees. So 12 times 30, 360 degrees. This is a plain chart. So every first house gives you Aries energy. The second house gives you Taurian energy. Third house gives you Gemini energy. And so you go around, and each house has qualities of the star sign. So when you know your 12 star signs, you then can relate them to your houses. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes. So so that's the basic, that's the background of it all.
That's
And then
called a flat, that's your natural zodiac.
and then presumably these different planets rule that particular star sign.
Correct.
And then those numbers are the houses.
Correct.
And then when it
Also, they're the
sorry,
numbers of the order of the star signs as you go through the year.
brilliant. And then when it's your star chart, is it called a chart? When you birth chart, when
Mhm.
it's your birth chart and it's figured out according to where you are and what time you're born.
If you go to the next one on that list, that's my chart. Put that one up. That's my chart. So as you can see, each line here, and there's the numbers of the houses. It does not matter. That is irrelevant that this line is here and divides the house, straddles two signs. My ascendant is 6.5 degrees of a Leo. My next house starts here, so that's 19 degrees of Virgo. So this is my second house. My third house starts here, 26 degrees of Libra. My IC, the bottom of your chart, in other words, the ilium code, basically the bottom, this is your fourth house. This is your family of origin. This is your home. Neptune's by mine, which gives it an interesting slant. Then my fifth house starts here in Sagittarius and finishes at 10 degrees of Capricorn. Then at 10 degrees Capricorn to the 6.5 degrees of Aquarius in my sixth house. Can you see how they're different sizes?
Yes.
That's because I was born in Australia. The closer you are to the equator, the more regular the houses. So these lines out here become relatively irrelevant is to the house because the house on the cusp, i.e., the beginning, is what rules this first house.
So your sixth house is
Capricorn
Capricorn.
ruled. So if you're to read it, and this is why you need to go back to the beginning and know your 12 signs, because the sixth house is Virgo's house. It's the house of work. It's the house of health and hygiene. It's not career. That's up here because that's the pinnacle of your achievement.
Sorry, when you say up here, can you see my mouse moving around?
Yeah, this is me up here. Is my mouse being seen?
No, yeah, I'm because I'm sharing my screen, so it'd be great if you
Okay.
could share it, but I can you try to share it? And it could be great to because then you can because I'm trying to interpret what you're saying by the mouse movement.
I'm trying to work out how to share because I've never shared before.
Well, let's
And
let's give it a go because we're all learning here. So if I stop sharing, I think you can share then. And um if you go to the WhatsApp group and the thing you want to I think you've done it.
okay.
Oh, yeah, I think you've done it. So go to astrology
Yep. Right.
and go to the thing you want to share.
Luckily, I used to work in IT many moons ago.
That's good.
Oh, for goodness sake. Sorry, guys, that this is a tedious.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all a learning game. Don't worry about it.
I've never had to. I'll just go to the top, you silly bugger.
It's all the Australian coming out now.
Yes, and I do apologize, guys. Being
But
Australian, I
you do your lovely thing. We love you.
right, okay.
You teach us.
Yes, right. Now, where'd it go? Hey, right. Am I in control, guys? Thumbs up or
Yes.
thumbs down? Can you see? Right. Thank you. Right. Okay. My ascendant, that is my first house cusp. And a cusp means the beginning. So you can see that there's number one there. And from this line to this line here is my first house. It doesn't stop here. It stops here, which is 19 degrees of Virgo. Then my second house goes from 19 Virgo through to 26 Libra, which is here. So this all in here is my second house. Third house, 26 Libra to 24 Scorpio. Fourth house, 24 Scorpio to, can't remember what that one is, but it's Sagittarius, the degrees. And then from Sagittarius through to 10 degrees of Capricorn is my fifth. And then to my descendant is my sixth house. And then so forth as you go round. So each house, my first house is ruled by Leo, but it is still Aries house. So Aries is I am, me. So that has the energy of Leo. So my personality and my presence is double fire. So it's a Leo, strong, extroverted, with Aries qualities. My second house is ruled by Virgo, which is about the things that I own, about money. My third house, which is communication, it's Gemini's house, so it's communications and siblings, is ruled by Libra. My fourth house starts with Scorpio and finishes with Sagittarius. And then you go round. That's how you work out your houses. So when you understand your planets, and when you read it, the classic one is moon. So you look to moon. My moon is over here. It's in Pisces. I've got a cluster that's called a stellium, but it's 23 degrees of Pisces in my eighth house. My sun, 3 degrees of Pisces, which is here, in my seventh house. So when you know what the sun represents and where it is, seventh house, so you can see where and how my sun will operate. My
So
Venus,
Rosie's asking about why the put a message in there. Do you want to? Can you see the chat
speak
there?
if you want, Rose, unmute yourself and ask me. Because I'm not actually, I would prefer it if you unmuted and asked me straight.
She says, why do some houses take up more space than others?
I explained that depends the location of where you were born as to how big houses are. Because this is a snapshot of the sky. Where's Earth? Earth is here. So
So it
that's
depends where
what's
you
in,
are. Depends where you are in the world, where
yep,
the distance between the planets are.
okay. This here is the horizon. This is above the horizon. This is below the horizon.
Makes complete sense. So you've just buttoned something. That's where the Earth is in the middle. Ah,
So when you're looking at astrology, depending on where you were born, some people have bigger houses than others. And that can bring in itself different complications. There's something called intercepted, where a house is so large that it takes up an entire sign. So an entire sign is inside a house with the like, so you may have Cancer here and then Virgo here, and in between you'll have Leo. That's called an intercepted sign. But that, let's crawl before we can actually run.
so Sue,
So,
can I
yep,
ask? So you've got that collection. I forgot the word, but for collection of planets,
stellium
stellium, and they're all in Pisces, but the house
yes,
is number seven, seventh house, and
and
then
eighth.
a seventh and eighth house in Pisces. So the seventh house is in Aquarius, going into
Mm-hmm.
Pisces, and then the eighth house is in Pisces. So you would read it as the seventh house in Aquarius with an influence of Pisces, or no? Or just the seventh house is Aquarius?
Good question. The way you would read that is the seventh house is ruled by Aquarius,
Oh,
but the things in the seventh house is in Pisces.
okay.
Your descendant, the beginning, the descendant here, which is opposite your ascendant, this is you interacting with relationships, personal, business, etc. That's the seventh house. So when you're looking at reading my chart, Aquarius on the descendant means I like quirky people because Aquarius represents the rebels, the quirky people, the non-traditional. So I'm attracted to non-traditional people. If I had the other way around and I had Aquarius ascendant and Leo descendant, I'd be attracted to strong people, individuals. If I
Whoa.
had Cancer over here and Capricorn here, I'd be looking for stable people, people with who had determination and who were solid and not given over to flights of fancy, because I'd want someone who was steady and dependable, being Capricorn here. So this is how people see me. Very confident, loud, assertive, possibly aggressive in some minds. That's the Leo. And you share the same ascendant, Althea.
Do I? Oh dear.
Yep, yours is down here though, very last degree. But Leo and the ascendant is how people see you. First impressions. It also gives you physicality, what you could look like physically, because that's Aries house. I'm nearly 6 foot tall and very strong physically. So when you go over on the opposite, and the descendant is in the opposite, this is the people that you like being around or attract in partnerships. It's also your marriage house. If you're looking for people you're attracted to for love affairs, you're down here in Leo's house. That's all about creation. So that's children. So
Oh,
seven,
wow.
this is you in relationship in the outside world. So that's your partner, your marriage, your business associates, partnership of any description, because this is Libra's house. And I've got a,
Oh, I love you. You're just making this whole stuff make sense. It's just absolutely astonishing. Astonishing.
well,
I'm loving it.
I'm 60 in February, and I've been doing this since I was 16.
Spring chicken,
And
dear.
I'm a visual learner and I'm an osmotic learner. So when I had my chart read, the guy that saw this, he saw one look at it, and went, "Oh fuck." I said, "Excuse me," and I was 16, and this guy was 86. I thought, "I beg your pardon," and then he went on to explain, "Darling, you need to grow into this chart." And it's what struck me about astrology is what you can see further down the line in the form of transits and growth. And also, it helped me understand myself. When you have a stellium like this, the fact that I've got this over here with these red lines as an opposition, that means that I can see myself in others. Without that red line and those red lines, I would be a very different person. If you don't have oppositions like this, which is 180 degrees, it's in the opposing sign, it's very difficult to see yourself.
And
Stelliums,
what makes those red lines? Are they opposite in energy planet?
180 degrees. Look at the numbers 16, 17, 18, 17, 18 of the opposite sign. That is an absolute 180 degrees direct opposition. It's math. A square is 90 degrees. So that's 21, and that's 20. So that's 1 degree off a 90-degree angle. And you've got something called orbs. And orbs is a circle of influence. So you've got 16, 17, 18, and that's 17, 18, and that's 21, but it's still a square because they allow for 5 degrees before and 5 degrees after to create a square.
And what does that mean? So I looked at the thing you shared was squaring up. So that's a good thing then.
Squares are irreconcilable differences, they're irritations, they're a pain in the ass,
Oh,
but we
the
need
opposite.
them because without the challenges, we do not grow. We came onto this planet with challenges, and every astrological chart brings challenges and it brings benefits. The human condition doesn't grow and become self-aware without pain and suffering because that's what creates growth. When you've got a difficult chart, you can see the potential for growth.
So that square, that's down the left is Uranus and top
Uranus and Pluto,
Uranus and Pluto and
that's
Jupiter.
Jupiter, and it squares into Chiron, Mars, Saturn, Mercury. So that's called a T-square. It's a T. So the 90-degree angle would come down here and go across. So that's called a T-square.
Ah, so those things all they challenge you. Those energies of different
Oh
planets
God, yeah.
challenge you.
Oh God, yeah. And the other thing
But,
that
mm,
happens is because it's Pluto and Uranus and Saturn involved, it's hard work. And whenever you get Saturn involved, Saturn is a taskmaster. Saturn is head down, bum up, get on with the hard work, but you do get rewarded with Saturn. So there are rewards when you do the hard work and if you face the hard work. When you run away from it, stick your head in the sand, this is too painful, I don't want to deal with it, then the pain continues. But the thing about astrology that I like, and because I've got all this Pisces, there's a level of sensitivity that is extreme. So I have to understand that my energy is mine and your energy is yours. Pisces can do this, can blend and merge. I've learnt not to do that. So I can feel someone else's energy, work on them, be present with them. And when they walk out the door, I don't go with them and they don't stay with me. Because when you're doing healing work, as a lot of Pisces do, the biggest lesson we need to learn is to let go of attachment to outcome. Every human being has the right to screw up, do the work or not do the work. My saying is metaphorically or literally walk off a cliff. Because you can lead a horse to water, but it's up to the horse to drink. You know, everyone comes to their healing as and when they're ready. And the transits that I work with in my own astrology helps me understand that the restriction that Saturn has just put on my moon, which is 23 Pisces, will pass, and it's passing now. Saturn is at 26 degrees and moving forward. So for me, astrology is about, okay, I know the potential that I can be. I can be a total asshole if I really want to be, by being in victimhood of my Pisces, or being an arrogant bully by being in my Leo. When you understand yourself, you then have freedom. And when you understand yourself and you know who you are, you don't have to be in someone else's business. Because if someone is triggering you, which is the opposition here, it's not the person that's the issue, it's you. Because you're the one being
It is.
triggered. So
There
what
it
the
is.
hell is going on inside you that you need to work on? That is an opportunity for healing, not victimhood and saying you did this to me.
Yeah,
Which
it's
all of
on the
this
button, Sue.
Pisces, yeah, and all
On
of
the
this
button.
Pisces, and everyone's got benefits. And I mean, one of my biggest challenges is down here with Neptune on my IC. This is my family of origin. This Scorpio on your IC down here on your family says an awful lot about my family life, my childhood.
So can I have a go?
Yeah.
Scorpio is very secretive, very sensitive.
Yep.
Uh, I can only say what I know so far. And
No,
uh,
carry on. Show
Neptune
your
is
way.
very Neptune is Neptune is very unusual things. And then on the IC, so the IC is that. What did you say about the IC? Is your family
Family of origin, where you were born
family of
into.
origin? Okay, so that means that's unusual sensitivity within the family. As I can't say much more about that, I'm afraid, but
It's a good start. No, it's a really good
it's a
job.
start.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all remember, I've been at this since I was 16. I've got decades. Okay.
So
So
this is the
all in all, you're
house.
doing.
Thank you, thank you. So the fourth house is because it's the first line there. That's the fourth house, and it points to Scorpio. So it's
Yeah.
all about Scorpio, and because you got Neptune planet in there, it means
Hmm.
something. And because it's on the IC, it's a family of origin, birth family.
Okay. Do you want me to put you out of your misery?
Yes.
Okay. Neptune is illusion, disillusion, fantasy, escapism via substance sometimes. And the IC Scorpio, my mum and dad split when I was 5. My mum was an alcoholic. My dad was an emotional cripple. If anyone has seen the movie The King's Speech, that was my dad. He had a stutter and he had a total and utter tyrant of a father. So I wasn't going to be parented in a normal fashion, for want of a better word. So it was full of uncertainty with Scorpio down here. But because of my own personality, it didn't bother me too much. But to someone who is hugely sensitive, a Cancerian like my brother, it really, really had a damaging effect. I just went, sod you. I understood my dad. He was a Pisces, and I understood my mum. She was a Virgo. And look where my opposition is. Pisces Virgo axis. Now, do you think that might be a bit of a coincidence that my mum was here and my dad was here? So
hang on a sec. So that red line is the opposition,
Yep.
and how do you fit your mom and dad, like you just
My
said?
mum was a Virgo. Her
Right,
sun sign was here.
right.
My dad was a Pisces. His sun
Okay.
was over here. Mum
Because
and
you have an
dad had a
opposite.
power struggle with each other because they were oppositions.
Mm.
And then I come along and just think, sod you. And I was quite an interesting child. But when you see Scorpio on the cusp of any house, you think possibility of obsession, compulsion, addiction, aggression, manipulation, coercion, but also secrets as well, because Scorpio, they're the ones that hold the secrets. It's difficult to get to know a Scorpio. But also, what this has done, it means that I don't have a solid family route. So I can up and leave. It gave me the freedom to travel because I didn't have this calling, this, if I had cancer down here, I wouldn't want to travel anywhere. So this gave me permission to sod off. And what it does is it means that wherever I go, I create my own home. And I don't need family and I don't need children to do that. So Scorpio gives you the sense of freedom, of disconnection. But that's how I interpret it. Someone else may
But
see, I didn't grow up with mum and dad and 2.4 kids.
and when you say on the cusp, that's because the fourth house is just in Scorpio. Is that when you mean on the cusp?
This is on the cusp.
Mm.
So this is just off. That's 22 degrees of Scorpio, and that's 24. So that is just sitting on, it's in the third house, but it's on the cusp of there. So it has an influence. But what it actually does is it puts Neptune in my communication. Now, what does Neptune also cover?
Freedom.
It also does intuition, clairvoyance, psychic, mediumship, etc. And it's in my house of communication. It's also in my house of siblings. I don't have a relationship with my brother at all. So it's disconnected me from that. But my way of communicating is through intuition and feeling. And it's pretty spot on because it also, these blue lines, water up to, from water to water. So it makes lovely positive aspects to my Pisces stuff. So Neptune in my third house of communication, for me personally, is a benefit. I use it in my work. It gives me my intuition. It gives me my psychic, my clairvoyance, my clairaudience.
And you're a therapist too. Is that the Aquarius in the is what's the
None,
DC descendant?
descendant. If
Is
you're
that
looking at your job, this is your house of work.
number
This
six?
here is
Mm.
your MC, the top of your chart.
Yeah.
This is your career. So your
So
career,
which house? So the MC.
MC is the join between number 9 and number 10,
So it depends on when you're born, what houses are going to be there.
or what is going to be there. For me, it's Taurus. But that's not
True.
actually where my career is. If you can see my work in my chart, but it's actually got nothing to do with this.
So career is 9 and 10 or 9
10. Career
10.
is here, number 10, which is Capricorn's house, which is the house of reputation, the house of, so if you're looking at Capricornian pursuits, you're looking at high CEOs, high achievers, law, CEOs, chairmen, not, you could say politicians, but not really because they're scumbags. Um, but
Oriana,
if
did you
you,
want to ask something? Did you want to
uh,
say something, Oriana?
Yes, so I wanted to ask, thanks, Alfia, why the MC is off to one angle and not at right angles to the
because,
ACDC.
because I was born in Australia and no chart is perfectly symmetrical.
Okay.
They're all wonky like this, and I've seen huge houses and tiny houses. But this is a snapshot in the sky of my birth. And if
Okay.
you look at your chart, it's wonky too. I haven't met anyone where it's an absolute right angle between the angles. This is the angles, this one and this one. This divides your chart into the Western and Eastern hemispheres and the North and South.
And Sue, how
So,
would you read your work and your career? How would you read that?
okay. This is how I read it. And a friend of mine who's a very good astrologer says, yeah, okay, sixth house is work and health and hygiene. I work in health and hygiene. It's ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn's natural ruler is Saturn. Saturn rules the barriers of the body, teeth, skin, bones. Okay. It's in Pisces, which is quite sensitive, not a good place for Saturn. But if you bring it down here, and there's Venus, Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So there's my link with the MC because Venus rules Taurus. There I am. Venus is down here in my work house. So it is connected, but not up here. It's down here. So when we look at the combination here, Capricorn, bones, skin, Venus, beauty, skin, and Saturn is quite strong, physically strong. So that's my deep tissue massage. I am naturally a very good deep tissue massage practitioner rather than light. I don't do cancer, OAPs, pregnancy, pre or postpartum, because I've got a naturally strong hand. I'm very good at deep tissue working with, also I can do a few corrections of spinal. But with all of this, Pisces gives me the sensitivity to work from my intuition, which is really finely tuned when I'm working. So that's how you can see me being a deep tissue massage practitioner.
It's amazing, isn't it? And
It's
and
there.
then when you say career, what difference would you say about career? Then what how does that sort of add
Well,
in to it all?
the ruler of the 10th house, the MC, is Taurus. What rules Taurus, guys? I've already said it. Come on. What rules Taurus?
Is it Mars? Something strong?
Aries.
It's Venus.
Aries. Yes, it's Venus. Where's Venus? Down here in Capricorn in my 6th house. There's the tie between my career and my work. My work and career are one and the same. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Taurus rules my 10th house, which is this here, which is my house of career, and it's down here in my workhouse. And then what you do is you look at, okay, where's the ruler of Capricorn? Capricorn is here, it's Saturn, it's in Pisces. So that brings in the sensitivity with the deep tissue work, because I can crunch and crack, but I can also do it with a level of sensitivity and intuition where people have walked out feeling completely renewed. And it's difficult for me to hold back sometimes when I find a particular problem. And I can do that in my speech. I can do that in my counseling work. I have told a couple of clients, pull your head out of your ass, the world doesn't revolve around you, which is quite a tough thing to hear and say. And I reciprocate that. My friends tell me exactly the same. I'm a tough taskmaster. That's Capricorn. Tough, but I can hold space with love and compassion because I've got the Pisces and the Venus there. But if you're having a whinge and a whining in victim,
Sorry,
I
who's the
can't do it.
taskmaster? Who's
I
the...
am.
No,
The
wait, but on this
taskmaster
chart.
is because this is Capricorn. It's ruled by Saturn.
Uh-huh.
If you want touchy-feely, you don't go anywhere near a Saturnian person because Saturn is hard. Saturn is tough. Saturn is pull your head out of your arse and get on with it. That's Saturn.
Let's
Saturn's
see
not
where my
nice.
Saturn is.
But the thing is, Saturn rewards the hard work. So when you're doing healing work, it's really scary because you're helping people to shed skins that they've been wearing for sometimes decades. And it's scary business. Who will I be without this? And when you stop telling the story with an emotional edge, you know you've healed. I can talk about my entire childhood and everything I've gone through without emotion because it's now just like, yeah, this happened to me, but there's no emotional triggers. And that's what Saturn can help you with, to disconnect by healing it. And when you've healed it, you're no longer triggered by it. So with my pattern here, that's what I'm capable of doing. And that's what I'm on this planet for. And I don't always win friends and influence people with that attitude, but it bloody works because I've been put through it myself. And if you hang in there and trust the process and trust me, I can hold you with all this Pisces stuff. And that Saturn gives it grounded strength. Because Pisces can lift off and take you into fantasy realm. And I'll bring you back down to earth because that Saturn will kick in and go, no, come back. I know I'm not the therapist for everyone, and this chart blatantly says that. But if you've got enough courage to work with me, you'll kick some butt together. Because I've also got this moon next to Chiron. Anyone know what Chiron is? Any takers? Anyone know their Greek mythology?
I believe it's the wounded healer, but I don't know
Bingo.
anything else.
No, that's it. Chiron basically was tied to a rock and he exchanged places and he gets torn to pieces and remade. The wounded healer is your wounds that you came in to heal, and we've all got them. And mine's next to the moon. And remember, that's in my 8th house. The moon represents your mother, how you were mothered. And Chiron, my wounds were created by the mother. My mum was an alcoholic. Not that actually my wounds were more created by my brother, but you know, it's another story. But they're healed. But that's the only asteroid that you guys need to be aware of, Chiron, because you're all on a healing journey. Well done.
So, Sue, I've got Pisces in my DC, in my 7th house. So that would
Yep.
be people I'm
You,
drawn to.
you over here are drawn to people that will take you into fantasy. You will be drawn to people that are light and fluffy because of the Pisces. Just be aware that not all Pisces and the Pisces people that you're drawn to aren't always grounded. When you've got Pisces on the descendant, and my husband had a Virgo ascendant. So his ascendant was here and his descendant was in Pisces and he found me. So the Pisces descendant, just be aware that if you come across personalities that are strong, you may find them a little bit difficult to deal with because your Pisces on the descendant would
I find
like, but you don't
I
have
find
Pisces on the descendant. You have a late Aquarian on the descendant because your ascendant is 29 degrees of Leo. I've looked at your chart.
so my Leo is 20, yeah, the
Yep.
ace is Leo, the
Mm-hmm.
ace is Leo. And I find that in my life that I am very sort of soft, or people take me as soft or pushover, but I'm quite tough inside. Where does that
Okay.
come
People
in?
take you for a pushover because you allow them. Bottom line, no two ways about it. The fact that people push you over is because you've allowed it.
Okay.
Because there's something within you that you don't want to offend, perhaps you don't want to
Mm.
upset. So you turn into a people pleaser, and probably traumatic childhood experiences where to survive you people pleased. And women, and 80% of autoimmune disease is in women because we're people pleasers. And when you come across a woman who's not like myself, it can be difficult. because you don't play to the tune that is what is expected of a woman. I didn't want to have children, don't like them for myself, and all of a sudden I'm a bit weird. But people treat you the way you allow them to treat you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I had a very strict upbringing, army parents who were very
I know,
how
but this isn't the place to go into your
sorry,
background and
sorry,
healing. That's
sorry.
okay. Does anyone have any other questions about my chart, their chart?
Can I just double check my understanding, please?
Yes,
So,
absolutely. This is the forum to do it. What would you
thank
like?
you. Just say again how the ascendant is established,
Time of birth.
and point to the chart that gives you your ascendant, please, to the
Well, that is
part.
my ascendant there.
So the time of birth is always on that midline.
The time of birth, if someone was born half an hour after me, they will have a different ascendant because it changes every 2.5 hours.
Uh-huh.
So at the time of my birth, at 17 minutes past 5, on the 22nd of February, 1966, in Sydney, Australia, my ascendant turns out at 6.47 Leo.
Right.
And you were born somewhere else, so your chart will be different. Someone
Yeah.
will born GMT, their chart will look, everyone's chart looks different. I had a folder full of different charts. Everyone's different, which is what makes this fantastic. Even twins, because they're born minutes apart, but they always sort themselves out to have different personalities. So something in your chart will become stronger than the other one. So we got the house system. Anyone have any questions on how to read a house? Yep, go for it, Althea.
So the first house, the ascendant is number one, and where that line points, that's your ascendant.
That is your ascendant.
So it'd
And
be
it goes all the
Virgo,
way across. So that's descendant, ascendant.
and then the IC is your
Bottom of your chart.
where the family you're born into,
Yep.
and the MC what was that again?
That is
MC.
you in the public life. So that would
Oh,
be if you have Jupiter or your sun up here, you could be an actor or an actress. You're in public scrutiny, you're in the public eye. So this is you, because this, don't forget, the top half of your chart here is you in the outside world. This is you in your internal world. So this is the pinnacle of who you could be in the public eye. I have a friend who's got Venus on this side and Pluto on this side in Leo, and she's a book editor and ghostwriter. And she's seriously good at it. And she'll go along and smooth. You wouldn't know her from Adam, but she's really good with words. And with the Leo there, she goes to do's and things, and she can talk the ear off, hind leg off a donkey with anybody, because that Leo, and she's striking to look at as well. She's Scorpio ascendant, so this is Scorpio for her. So she's got quite dark brooding eyes, and there's an intensity about her. But with this Leo up here means that she can stand on a stage. Look at me, jazz hands. And with the fact that she's really good at words, she's amazing to sit down and listen to, and she's got a lot to say. And she's my astrologer friend, so we quite often, what do you see in my chart? What do you see in your chart? And we'll chat astrology forever.
So
Any other questions? Sorry, Althea.
sorry. So around the houses. So the first house is could you just, I know you put it in could you say the houses, what the houses are
Okay.
around?
Learn your 12 signs. And it's in the group. The documents are in the group. First house, Aries house. I am. Your physicality. Your second house is Taurus's house. It's all about what I own, my own belongings, my own money. Your third house is your siblings. It's Gemini's house. It's also short distance travel, so short commute, weekends away. It's siblings as well. Your fourth house, that's Cancer's house. That's where the moon rules. So Cancer is your home. What was your home life like? Was it stable? Was it violent? Was it loving? Was it cold? Was it hard? Then the fifth house is Leo's house. Leo is all about creation. It's about being artistic and creative. The height of female creativity is producing a child. So if you're looking at whether or not you might have children, you could look at the fifth house. It's also the house of love affairs, but not husband or wife. So this is liaisons, naughty weekends away sort of thing, not long-term lovers. And with mine in Sagittarius is that I'm freedom loving. And then the sixth house is Virgo's house. This is the house of work and health and hygiene. Can you see how the 12 signs now tie into your houses? So then you go over the descendant, which is the opposite of the ascendant, and we go into Libra's house. Libra is ruled by Venus, and this is all about partnerships. Your husband, your wife, your long-term partner, your business partnerships are in this house as well. So it's all about partnerships. Then we go over into eighth house. And if you notice, the first house is all about me. And then the seventh house, which is directly opposite, is about us. Then we go to the eighth house, death, dying, inheritance, taxes, other people's money. Second house is my money. Eighth house is money from outside sources. Am I going too quickly? No? Okay. Then we go on to the ninth house, which is Sagittarius. And this is where you get higher learning. This is religion and theology, and it's long distance travel. The opposite house, number 3, is about short distance. It's about learning, but not higher learning. So this would be primary school, the third house. The ninth house would be masters, PhD. And this would be travel to Australia, and the third house would be travel to the Isle of Wight. So there's the two contrasts. Can you see how it's working out now?
This is very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Mariana. It's easy when you know how. It's the knowing how is the hardest part. So now we're going on to the 10th house, which is Capricorn's house. And Capricorn is all about bricks and mortar status. So if you're looking comparing 4th and 10th house, the 10th house is looking at buying the house and having accomplished things, having a nice car, having a good job. The 4th house is having emotional security in a nice home with fluffy cushions. So the 4th house would be a rental accommodation, and the 10th house would be buying your own mansion because you've earned enough money to do so. An 11th house, which is Aquarian's house. This is all about your groups, organizations and groups. So your trade union would be here, your WI would be here, any group that you feel affiliated with, including my own of Astrology. All of your groups and affiliations would be in your 11th house, Aquarian's house. And opposite in the 5th, in Leo's, is about your creativity. These don't match up in the way that the other ones do. And Aquarius house is also sort of where you're a bit quirky, where you rebel, where you move away from the 10th house of Capricorn, and going with the plan of financial security or a good job. This could be the quirky, rebellious hippie in the 11th house, or your yoga group. And then the last one, Pisces house, the 12th house, you can't see what's in here. It's the house of self-undoing. So whatever is in here is a little bit hidden from view. It's where do you kid yourself? Where do you hide? What can't you see? And with all of the Pisces stuff, and my 12th house is Cancer, which is very interesting because Cancer rules the 4th house of home. So to me, home is not important. The family is not important because I got Cancer on my 12th house. For me, biological family of origin is irrelevant. And that sounds really cold and hard, but I've grown and healed, and thank you very much for giving birth, but I've never craved family. I've never craved to create a nuclear family of myself, because to me, there's Cancer in the 12th. Now, this doesn't always ring true for everybody with Cancer in the 12th, but it does ring true for me. Children were irrelevant. Family is irrelevant. What I want for me was more important. And there's the 12 houses. So when you know your signs and your planets, then you can start putting things in and reading the lines. And someone asked what a green line was. I've got a broken green line there. That's called a quintile, which is a minor aspect. There's another broken line here. That's called a semi-sextile. There's also one called a sesquiquadrate and a semi-square and a quincunx. There's a load of minor aspects, but ignore any of the green and black lines. You will overwhelm yourself with too much information. Stick with the red ones and get to know these intimately, because you have to understand what a planet in a certain sign means to be able to read the red lines and the blue lines. So stick with, what does the moon mean? Then you go, okay, the moon is in Pisces. Okay. And it's in the 8th house. When you can get that down, you'll be ready to go. There's a lot of information. I've been at this decades.
Sue,
Yeah.
the sign that has the symbol of, it looks like an M with a P at the end. So on
This one,
yours, that one, yeah.
that's Pluto.
So, and on the outer thing, where it's that
That's
M,
Virgo.
that's the
That's
symbol of
Virgo.
Virgo.
So
Okay.
what this is these are the 30 degrees of each sign, which remains the same on every single chart. The only thing that happens is it turns. So if I have an ascendant in Pisces, in Cancer, then that would be my first house cusp there. And then everything would turn. It's like a wheel. It
Yeah.
turns. Does
And
that
so
answer your question?
that's a help. So I'm curious to know if what did you say the 12th house is? Oh, the self-undoing.
Self-undoing.
So if the 12th house is Virgo,
Mm-hmm.
how would you understand that?
Look where your Mercury is.
Ah, so which
You
is
see, I don't have
Mercury?
anything in my 12th house, but the ruler of my 12th house is Cancer. So what rules Cancer? Moon.
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 Where's Moon? It's there. Okay, so what does Moon in Pisces in the 8th house represent? And that's how you read it. So I don't have anything in my 2nd house, but I've got Virgo on the ascendant, on the cusp there. So my 2nd house, which is empty, but the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. So I go over here and there's Mercury in Pisces. What does Pisces mean for Mercury? Intuition, psychic. It's not very good at holding on to money because it's a money house. but that's how you start reading a chart.
Wait, it's so complicated.
It is. And I have warned you time and time again, guys, astrology is years of study, but I can't stress more than anything else. Know your 12 signs inside out and intimately. Read up one sign a month, and there's your year. And then when you read up and or even, 2 weeks, a week, whatever, when you feel you really know that you've got what Aries means, which is your first house. What rules Aries? What does Aries represent? The positive and negative, and all the documents are attached to the WhatsApp group. But when you know each sign intimately, then you can start building on your planets and your aspects and the transits and everything else. It's a huge, huge subject. That's why I got a mate, Steve Judd, and he's been at it 5 decades. I've known Steve Judd now for 2002. And he's a great guy. When I went to the Astrological Lodge of London, I had access to a lot of astrologers during their lectures, and it wasn't done online because it was pre-COVID. Would you be better with books that you can leaf through and thumb through? Because I can put some authors up and you can get some books that have got some good information.
Yeah, if you're not a visual learner, then it doesn't, you can I can look at this stuff and it doesn't go in.
How do
So,
you best learn?
yeah. How do I best learn? I'm not sure.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think probably auditory and a bit of finger pointing, like you've
And
been doing.
Rose says yes, please, for books.
Okay, no problem. I'll put a couple of books up with beginners stuff, as well as the documents that I've already put up at the beginning. My document on astrology is, and I've got the planets up. Work with keywords. If you work with keywords and sound bites, then you can start building things. Like
What do you
Aries, I
mean?
am energy.
Oh,
It's ruled by Mars. What does Mars do? I want that. How can I get it? It's about exercise, competition, drive. But they're also the ADHDs because they can get bored. They're not very good finishers because Aries is all about doing and go through the signs. It's about repetition. It's going to be frustrating in the learning process. I've been there. Because what you want to do is look at my chart and go, oh yeah, Sue, that's really interesting. That mutual reception of Jupiter and Mercury and blah 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 blah.
we can
Which is
dream. We can set
yeah, but
intentions.
I started with meeting Gordon Ballard and having my chart done at 16. Just that one chance meeting, and I went, oh. And it's natural for me. It feels very natural. And it's in my chart, but that's for another day.
I'm loving it,
Come to
Sue.
the
I
end
mean,
of our time.
we have, and I think that key emphasis, that step by step, baby steps. I've
Yes.
been loosely not engaged into astrology all my life, but just for fun at the early sort of what's your star sign mean, what's your partner, and all that. Just
Mm.
I found it. I tried to step into it a few times over my life, and just thought, no way, it's very complex. So, but I feel like you're so clear, and I think you're a great teacher.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I feel like things are kind of there's a bit of clearing going on. The clouds are clearing a little bit for me, anyway. So
Well, what
thank you so
usually
much.
happens is a penny drops and all of a sudden you think, I got it. And then the chart jumps off the page at you because when you get your 12 signs and your 12 houses down, then you start and you look at the planets, which you dovetail into when you're looking at rulerships and things. And all of a sudden, you'll be able to read one aspect and go, I know what that means. And it's like victory lap. And if you ever have a moment like that, guys, share it with me because I want to share that victory with you and that joy because that's like me sharing that all over again.
And thank you, Sue. And Rose
That's okay.
says Rose says there are also free Zooms on Astrology Lodge of London. Next one's on the 5th of May. Hope that's okay to share.
Oh, absolutely. If you have anything astrology related, please share. If I share something that is not astrology, which I did share one thing, it's because it related to what was going on the planet at the time, and a reminder to stay grounded and don't lose your head. But I will always, if I find something that's funny, excuse any of the profanity. If anybody is offended by some of the videos, I love the presentation, and the profanity, unfortunately, is a part of the way these particular people express themselves, which doesn't offend me, but my apologies if it offends anyone. Just don't watch it.
Wonderful. And Sue, I think everybody, when you're texting in the chat, it says like direct message or to everybody. So Sue can't see a lot of the things you've been chatting about. So if I can just reel that off a little bit.
Keep to the chat, because if you direct
Mm,
each other, I can't see it. If you
yeah,
want to direct message me, that is fine. But I don't offer free readings. If you want a reading, then please contact me. I'm happy to do one-on-ones, either Zoom or sitting on my sofa. So please,
yep.
don't hesitate. But this is all done free of charge. I don't get paid for these. I do it because I love my subject. And if I can bring some light into someone's life and some understanding of a craft that I absolutely adore, then I've done my bit.
Wonderful. And so some of the things, so yeah, just watch out, Josephine. If any puts a direct message, Sue can't see what you've said there. So Josephine said Venus, the wounded healer she's mentioned, and she says, well explained, Sue, thank you. I think it's yeah, just watch out for that direct message. If you're trying to speak to Sue, she can't see that. And so thank you so much, everybody. And thank you so much, Sue. That was just extraordinary. To take things to the next, more questions and next guidance, come into the WhatsApp group so Sue can guide you there. And she mentioned about, she doesn't do free readings, but if you want, she's doing a special offer that is not at £90, which is the normal. It's going to be £70 during the time of this course. So do get in touch with Sue, and all the details are on the details inside the WhatsApp group. If you go to description at the top of touch the top of the label of the WhatsApp group that's in support of this course Sue's running, you can see her email and phone number to get in touch for a private reading. But do ask questions in the WhatsApp group, and Sue's been amazing between the calls, and I'm just so grateful for the time and attention you've been giving us all. It's just been incredible.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Sue. So we're
No
wrapping up.
bother. So we'll see you next time. And in the meantime, please don't hesitate. Yeah, drop me some questions, drop me some, any queries or anything that you would like to understand. Thanks,
Amazing.
Rose. Take care. Because you just said goodbye. I've closed my screen. I've got the messages now. Go well, everybody. And I
Thank you,
shall
Sue.
see you next week.
Amazing.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
And come into WhatsApp to take things for more questions towards Sue. Come into the
Thank
WhatsApp
you.
group. Bye for now.
Bye.